Hi everybody, Happy New Year! I'm Bree the Plant Lady.
Happy New Year, I'm David.
And today we are going to give you a tour of the Ralston Arboretum here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been busy garden touring, closing out 2022, and I almost feel like live oaks have been a theme. And here we have, I think, two of the most impressive live oaks in Wake County here at the entrance of the Ralston Arboretum. David, when I met David, I asked him what his favorite plant was, and he said oaks.
Oaks.
And we set out on a mission to create a small oak collection on our property, and we included 3 live oaks. And every time I see these, I'm motivated to think of what ours will eventually look like. I'll have to find out how old these are, so it would give us some good information. Of course, the understory of these live oaks is what really is so incredible. And, you know, you just don't get better genetic and horticultural diversity than here at the Ralston Arboretum. We have things like Danae and Ruscus and different Carex, hellebores, Ophiopogon, Asarum, you know, various ferns, and the cyclamen. The cyclamen are so beautiful, and they really shine at this time of year. And this is cyclamen heterofolium, a really nice silver leaf form. And whenever I come here, I think of this, and this is basically what I want to create under that big taxodium at the Carolina Garden House. And slowly but surely I'm making progress, and one day the understory of that tree is going to be very reminiscent of this. Now as we walk along here, the 2 most epic crepe myrtles in all of Wake County. You just can't not love these. We have this planted on our property. One day it'll look like this. And again, what's so remarkable here is not only is it a great tree and shrub collection, but they have a great woody understory. You know, so much of the garden, like every square inch is planted. Now, speaking of every square inch being planted, you can definitely see some of the cold damage. These will be fine. This is acanthus, but in many winters, they're fully evergreen for us. Obviously, this year, not the case. And this is actually a hybrid Edgeworthia of Chrysantha and Papifera that my good friend Tim Alderton found. It's called Snow Globe. You can see it still had its foliage when the cold hit. And so most of the Edgeworthia that we've been seeing the last couple of days have been totally, like, completely deciduous, whereas this one is, you know, holding on to that frosted foliage, so it doesn't look quite as nice. Okay, it's been since October that I've been here, and obviously there are huge things happening. As we were pulling in, there's lots of trees that have been removed. Oh, there's my friends. That's who we're meeting. Hi, guys. This is the perfect place to meet you because I want to know what's going on. But wait, first you have to introduce yourselves.
Hello, Mark Weathington, director of the JCRA Arboretum here at NC State.
And Kevin Parris from Spartanburg Community College.
And they're some of my favorite plant nerds.
Well, we've been talking plants. So, during the last, really decade, we've really concentrated on our new entrance, visitor center, and kind of the southwest, and south part of the Arboretum. And really have kind of ignored much of the northeastern section. So a lot of those trees there have served their purpose. We're here to evaluate plants, not to have them, keep them here forever. So we have just taken down, I don't know the exact number, but close to 100 trees.
It's amazing.
That have been there for more than 2 decades. And so rather than just replant in that flat area, we are going to be bringing in the topsoil that came from a project at NC State for a parking lot. And we are going to be making some berms there, which both will help block some of the noise from the railroad tracks and the road, but also, mounding your plants. It gives you more room to plant. You've got exponentially more room when you plant on a mound. It allows you, if you plant trees at the top of the mound, you can plant full sun things under them because they don't shade them out. It'll also, since the berms will be running primarily east-west, it'll give us a north face and a south face, so we get more microclimates on there, and you'll be able to go on both sides of those berms and around them. So we're talking over my head tall berms for that. So we're really excited about it. It happened a little quicker than we thought. But when somebody says they have 3,000 yards of good topsoil that they need to move right now, you take it if you can get it. So we took it, and it's fantastic stuff. They kept trying to give me the clay that was underneath there. The contractor kept saying, we've got some great structural clay under here. It is just pure red clay. I think, no, we'll take the topsoil for this. So we're excited. We're going to start moving this in the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be amazing by spring. And we're really going to be working on showing how you can use plants to mitigate drainage, how you can use topography, but trying to keep the water above ground, not pipe it not pipe it into storm drains. But water is great. We need water to garden, and we always try and get water out as quickly as possible, or store it where you can really use it in the garden. In our very northeast corner, we have a design from one of a graduate design student here at NC State, and it calls for a big mound, 8-10 feet high, with a wall around it, and in the center is a fountain. It'll be a kind of a raised infinity pool, 15 feet across. The water just cascades out, filled with plants, and it's really the technology. This old school technology. Is for cleaning pools without chemicals. In Europe, there's a big move to go to public swimming pools. These are not little private schools, these are large public schools, and not having any chemicals, doing it all the cleaning of the water via the plants, taking up the nutrients and keeping it clean. And it really works well. And I'm told there's one public pool in the US or in North America maybe with that technology. I don't know where it is. But that's what this student was working on. And so we're not going to have the pool, but we're going to have that technology, be able to talk about plants cleaning water.
Oh, cool. I'm going to count this as the first fully open Prunus mume of the season that I have seen. This is Tojibai. And you can see nice kind of small single white flowers. And of course, Prunus mumes are so awesome because they bloom in the winter. They're fragrant. Honeybees love them. I see bees on here. I probably can't quite get the camera to focus on that. But if you're into bees, Prunus mumes are a must grow. A tree I really like, Psychopsis sinensis, variegato. We were just standing here talking about it. And it's amazing how hardly injured it is. And it's totally deciduous.
Yeah, in a really mild winter, it's almost fully evergreen. But in a typical winter, by the end of the winter, it'll lose its leaves, but the wood's never damaged.
Right.
The cold sent distal parodia into fall color, but none of the leaves are damaged.
Oh, that's great. So explain distal parodia for YouTube.
Well, at Spartanburg Community College, in a garden by happenstance, pollen from parodia landed on Distilium, and we have 8 siblings that came up in the understory of old Distilium that are perfectly intermediate between parodia and Distilium.
Which is an intergeneric hybrid.
So it is a putative intergeneric hybrid that we're in the process of doing all of the DNA verification on, but it all the morphology points to it being perfectly intermediate between the two genera.
Really exciting. Now, like everywhere that I've gone the last few days, the camellias that were open are brown, but there's lots of buds coming. This is Igawa corkscrew. Lots of flowers to come. Which is this? Oh, Greens Blues. That's a great one from Bobby Green. And you guys actually have a shockingly amazing camellia collection that sometimes gets ignored because they're just tucked in under the understory, and you know, unless they're in bloom, you kind of overlook them as broadleaf evergreens. So this is the fishtail camellia, Camellia japonica. See, fishtail, white with red stripes. And what makes it really unique is this, you know, interesting leaf adaptation. Some of them are solid, and some of them actually have this funny pucker on the back.
I think we're going to have the funds to put a copper roof on it.
Ooh!
We take out some of this stuff on the side. We're going to mimic the arbor on this other side just for a little bit of symmetry. You do away with the steps completely, and we'll have a really nice fully accessible path all the way around there to get to the restrooms, and do away with this block wall and do the whole wall out of troughs.
Oh,
so
excellent.
It'll be, various troughs in there, and replant it all here, and then do some permeable paving at this end of the walkway here.
And then what's the plan here? This is exciting.
So the plan here ultimately is to put a really nice arbor, a covered arbor for a little bit of rain protection, to have education programs, that sort of thing. But it will stay mostly open for weddings and events and things like that. There's a nice overlap between good arboretum design, which is leaving some open spaces so that you can actually see the plants, which as plants people, we always want to plant everything. But if you leave some open space, but that also allows it to be used for education, rentals, you know, whatever, displays, that kind of thing. So, and we put the path in first because our rose garden is at the far end, and there wasn't a good, you know, solid, accessible path to get into the rose garden, and so that's why we started with this.
The path looks great. Last time I was here, you guys hadn't put it in yet. So you've made a lot of progress quickly.
We're trying.
So we referenced this yesterday in our Duke Gardens tour. Here's like this is the castle.
It's the Airbnb.
It's the Airbnb. It is the Airbnb. This is the year. 2023 is the year I'm getting one of these. I'm saying this in front of my husband David, so he knows that I'm serious. This is what I want for my birthday.
Yes, ma'am.
You have till April.
Okay.
And I'll be a participant.
Okay.
They're back there getting the information on how it's built. So, count on this being an upcoming 2023 YouTube video, how to make an epic bee hotel.
So this is a Mexican sugar maple, Acer Scuccii. This was a seedling that we got from our good friend David Creech at Stephen F. Austin in Texas. But this one comes out bright pink and then goes kind of yellowish white and then green. So we call it, since it's a Mexican sugar maple, we call it Acer Scuccii Tequila Sunset.
I like it.
Beautiful. Slow growing too.
Well, this may look familiar if you've been following me, all that citrus on the ground. This is where my hardy citrus came from. And I don't want it to get this size. At all. I don't want it to be this big.
They weren't supposed to be. We were here to fill space the first year we planted this, just to have something in the ground. We assumed that at least 2 or 3 of the 4 would die the first winter, and one of them dies back to the ground regularly. The other 3
Are
barely get
totally.
touched even in single digits.
And do you guys pick these up? Like, you're not.
We pick these up and cart them away in wheelbarrow load things.
Right.
And they are not good to eat. As for using them, I was always told marmalade,
Right.
which, you know, anytime somebody says this fruit you can make jelly out of, what that means is
Sugar.
you add a ton of sugar to it and it's palatable. But when I was telling somebody that, and I'm never making marmalade, that you may, I'm not. But somebody said, oh, you just peel a thin layer of the outer peel and put it in your whiskey sour. I'm like,
Which
okay.
I've also done recently. Like, yeah, I did it around like the top of the glass for bourbon.
It has a bitter taste to it.
It's bitter.
So that's the real.
I tried to use it like to grate the outside and use I don't know what that's called. I tried to use the zest. I mean, it takes all the saliva away.
Yeah.
I know everybody wants this to be edible, but this truly is not what you buy at the grocery store.
No. There exists on the interwebs a video of me trying all of our citrus, and I can tell you this. Always remember, if somebody says something is edible, where there's a will, there's a way. Everything is edible. The question is it palatable? Not edible.
So another favorite plant that's in bloom right now is galanthus. This is Elwesii. Thank you for having things labeled. Little snowdrops. They're so cute. Perfect tiny understory bulb. And you can see here it's planted, you know, under a taxodium, which of course is what my goal is with the big taxodium at the Airbnb house. You see the taxodium needles fall and sort of self-mulch. And then my favorite tree of all time is planted adjacent right here. And this is the Chinese sassafras. And let me get where you can actually see these incredible buds. I can pull this down just a little bit. I think it has incredible year-round interest. It has beautiful yellow flowers in very early spring, and that's what will emerge from these. And it's truly an exquisite plant. Sassafras zumu. If you're not familiar, you should totally look it up. Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this first day of 2023 garden tour here at the JC Ralston Arboretum. I want a special thanks to Mark.
You're welcome.
For being the best tour guide ever. And to Kevin. Next time I come to Spartanburg Community College, I'll have Aiden with me and we're gonna make a YouTube video.
Right.
And to David for being a plant nerd tolerant. He's been overwhelmed with plant nerding this entire holiday. So thanks for your patience and understanding.
You're welcome, sir.
Well, everybody, we're wishing you all the best for a fantastic new year in the garden. Thanks so much for watching.